Basketball Talk Pro. I'm Ron Ecker. I was working on another project, and the project was to develop a set of precepts for coaches. And it required quite a little effort because there's so many things you can put in that coaches should do, should develop skill at. I mean, it's kind of almost limitless. But there was room for only a small amount of that. So I had to break down all of those ideas and get them into a more general thing, and I have. And I have five precepts. But I feel very good about these. I think all of those things that I had written down that coaches should do, will fit under a more general heading that we have in these five. I think you could place anything you're going to recommend under one of the five things very easily. So when I was finished, I thought I would like to do this for Basketball Talk Pro, because I would like to, first of all, have you write it down. I'll talk about that in the board, and then I'd also like you to put it someplace where you can see it daily and internalize it into your mind and your body, because the things work, and they're probably the only things that really work consistently. So pay attention, of course, which I know you guys do, but go back and forth, write them down carefully, and be neat about it. Put a nice piece of paper and write it nice, so that when you look at it, you aren't distracted by sloppiness. So now I'll let you go to the board and look at each one of these, and at the end there will be no, I will not come back on and end it. It'll just end. And but I want you to know that I'm very happy that you're watching this. I hope you get a lot out of it, and we'll see you the next time, which won't be very long. So have a good look at this, the 5 precepts of an effective coach. Here are the 5 precepts to effective basketball coaching. Now, the word precepts may be a little bit strange for some of you. A precept is kind of a combination between a command and a principle. But the bottom line is that it requires certain action or behavior. It's a softer way of saying things in a commanding effort, in a commanding way. So I use that word for that reason, because the 5 things I'm going to go over here really should be commands for coaches, but on the other hand, I think they should be principles also, and so it kind of fits for me. Well, let's go through these. As I said before, many of the things I'm going to talk to you in these 5 are things that we've talked a lot about in Basketball Talk Pro. But now I put this in a way that says you need to strive for these elements. We understand that the elements are well for you, but this is something you need to take your time with and work on day after day after day. I could attach this to an email and you could have it just the way it is. But I prefer this. I prefer that you write it. There's something about writing something. I'm not talking about an iPad now or Word or a computer. I'm talking about a pad of paper and a pencil or a pen and write these things down exactly like they are put up above. We have a coach, a very experienced coach in Basketball Talk Pro, who every video he writes out every word that is said in that video. He told me that he bought the biggest 3-ring notebook that he could find, and he's almost got it full. But he felt that the act of writing it carefully, the words meant more to him, and the unity became more exposed. So I would like you to take the time to write these out. And then I would like you to put them up somehow. Write them neatly, so you can understand them. Nice piece of paper, nice pen, and then tape them someplace where you have to see them every day. Every day. Look at these. Some days you're just going to breeze over them. But every once in a while you may stop at one of them and reflect and think about how you're doing that. Very powerful stuff. I'd like you to do that. So, I'm listing below 5 important elements an effective coach must strive for. None of us have them. That we can do any one of them well, but we strive for them. Well, let's take them one at a time. Number 1, coach should have a strong desire to develop oneself physically, mentally, and spiritually. There's nothing, I had to put this one, because the rest of it just won't come effectively if you don't have those 3 elements well ingrained into your system. Physically may surprise you. Why you're not running a marathon here or 440 in coaching, but you'd be surprised how much your body needs energy and needs the ability to work effectively at long times. I just went through about 4 months when I really began to understand how important being physically ready or fit does to you. And if you're not, what a negative effect it has on your effort. Mentally, of course, we've talked a lot about. I don't think I have to say much about that. You know the deal with, and I go through one at least every 3rd or 4th video. We talk about something in that area. And spiritually, we just had one. The video before this one speaks about spirituality. And I don't take that lightly. You shouldn't either. It's soul. I look at it as soul. It's an inner thing inside of you that just demands the best. Number 2, have a deep, listen to this word, deep understanding of offense, defense, fast break, and the 3rd element, obtained through film work, practice, games, and mentorship. Obtained through actually experience. I put film work first because I think of all those elements there. Film work is your best way to gain that emphasis and that confidence from. It's terrific experience. Mentorship is something that we've talked a little bit about. I can't think of anything better than having someone, or two even if you're lucky, that you can go to and have confidence in what they're going to tell you and be able to lay things out, a problem or a solution that you need, all kinds of things. And sometimes it's just a talk. You just talk a little bit about things, and the ideas start to come. I put that very high. It was the very first video I made was, you need a mentor. And I'm hoping that this program can help, but it's not like having a live person. Number 3, have a strong commitment to comprehend it. In other words, understand the mystery of learning. It is mysterious how people learn, and the skill to apply it to every aspect of the player-coach relationship. What I'm saying here is that you don't only help a player learn on the floor. You help them learn and apply the principles of learning to many, many things during a period of time with that player. This is very important. You can't just walk off the floor and overlook and neglect the many things that players need from you. And you have to be ready to do that. I avoid the word teaching. I don't avoid the word teacher. But to me, a teacher is helping players learn. Remember what Confucius says. Show me, tell me, first of all, I'm sorry, tell me, and I'll forget it. Show me, I may remember a little. Involve me, and I'll understand. Live by that. Tell yourself that constantly. It isn't about you. It isn't about your teaching. It's about them learning. And they learn best when they're involved. So don't think you can get up and make a speech and players know what they're doing. It's a big mistake. I don't care that much about what Basketball Talk Pro does with the videos. I try whenever I can to get you to get involved. Do a game, send it in, let me look at it. As much as I can, I do that. I don't get the response that I should be getting from coaches. They need to work. I'm all for the resources that you have with computers and iPads and everything, but it takes away from your own effort, and you're shortcutting a very important part of your coaching growth. Get involved, do it, work at it. I think you'll find that the learning is so much deeper. Number 4, make use of all resources and knowledge. Everything you learn, all the resources you have available, you may not have many, that's okay. But use what you got, but you can have the knowledge, the overwhelming knowledge, to build a system that is simple, effective, related, and skillfully constructed. You saw San Antonio, and you saw Miami. Well, San Antonio's got a system year after year. Then they're playing with guys that are really old. But the system goes on. And that's what I'm trying to get across to you. Quit fragmenting your practices and offenses and defenses with something you picked up 2 days ago and you throw it in there. It's got to be a part of the system. We've gone through this. If you have any doubt, I try to make it as simple and as clearly defined as I can in volume 2 of my book, which I spend a pretty ample time on building a system. It's something that I don't think you can succeed without. I think you are going to lose a lot. I just watched so much this. I admire teams like the Lakers did under Phil Jackson, under Utah under Jerry Sloan, San Antonio under Popovich. These are guys that really build a system. This is not to be taken lightly. It's a big thing you should be working on constantly. It takes practice to build a good system. You're going to make mistakes. Keep at it and just keep working through it. Now, number 5 could easily have put number 1. I just thought that this was a better place to kind of end the discussion. Love your players and love the game. I don't know how a coach can get up in front of players that he loves, unprepared or poorly prepared, has not done the work that's necessary for him to have the skill to make the presentation that needs to be made before a game, before a practice. I just can't imagine when you love somebody. I'm not talking about romantic love. I'm talking about just love them. That you can do that. It draws out the best in you when you have that feeling towards your players and the game. A lot of players make a lot of mistakes, and coaches, because they have no feeling for the game. They have a lot of feeling for what the game can do for them. Make money, make you a hero, all of those things. But they don't have an understanding of their love of the game. I had a player once when I was with Cleveland by the name of Ricky Davis. Some of you probably have heard of him. He was really, he got into all kinds of trouble. And he had a very bad reputation. But I will tell you this. I really liked Ricky Davis. And Ricky Davis is a good person. Highly intelligent, highly competitive. But one day I was working with him and I said, Ricky, what do you really want to do in basketball? You're on an NBA team. How much higher can you get? What do you want out of it? And he said to me, I want to be the best player in the game. And I said to him, you have the physical talent to do that. You can run, you're very quick, you jump, you have intelligence, and ample intelligence. But you will never, ever accomplish that until you play for the love of the game. And right now, you're playing for the love of yourself. Well, I went to a different team. He went to a different team. And one time he came over the sideline. He said, I haven't forgot what you said, Coach. And I'm trying, to develop myself. He never really did because of his emotional temperament. But it meant a lot to him to hear those words. I would say that to anybody. Loving your players is hard sometimes. And I've had some players that are really not much fun to be around. One in particular that I really don't know if he has a learning disability. There's all kinds of crazy things. But you still have to see him for what he is. He's a very talented player, by the way, and one of our best players, and we depended on him. But I was particularly involved with him because I had the defense, and he's probably the worst defensive player I've ever seen. Uh, and he just couldn't grasp it. Um, but I still felt very good about him because he did want to learn. It just must have been very difficult for him. You got to have that feeling for your players. Well, that's five areas that I believe if you can come close to achieving something in each one, you're going to have a much happier career and a longer one also. So tape this up someplace. Look at it every day. Look at what it takes. You can add a lot of these things. I mean, I had a list a lot longer than this. I carved it down to, and someone else could come in and add maybe 10 things to this list. But I tried to put it into, to simplify it to things that I felt were not overwhelming and still very important. And I think these five things cover what I believe in, and I think a lot of coaches believe in. And so I'm very confident that if you follow this, you will get good results.